seen a snake, which wasn't on camera, and a toenail, which is bigger than my head.
We are in Corfu, an island that's known as a great place for herping, but that's a trip for another time. This was a laid-back holiday, a chance to relax after my recent illness. But of course, I'll still take every opportunity to flip rocks and keep my eyes open for amphibians and reptiles. Yes, we did see snakes, and no, I didn't catch them on camera. Jack managed to find a juvenile four-line snake, which I just caught a glimpse of before it disappeared. And we also saw a couple of Dahl's whip snakes.
I lost it, I didn't get it.
That were gone like a flash.
What have we got?
Slow worm.
What kind of slow worm?
Greek slow worm.
I won't dwell on this, as I've already featured it in another video. Although they look pretty much the same as the slow worms we have back in the UK, they are in fact different species. The slow worm may have been the only legless lizard we saw, but it certainly wasn't the only lizard. I had expected to see a fair amount of geckos, but we only saw a couple of small Moorish and one Mediterranean house gecko. There were 3 other lizard species that I was hoping to spot, and we managed to see 2 of those in large numbers. Technically we got all 3, but sadly the only green lizard we saw was dead on the road. And yes, it was a bit of a mess, so I've blurred the video. Hopefully the next time I see one, it will be alive. It would be hard to visit the island without catching sight of at least a few of these Dalmatian algeoroids, otherwise known as blue-throated keeled lizards. As you're walking up these steps, you just hear constant psh, psh, each side, leaves rustling as those little roids disappear. There is so many of them. By far the most common reptile in Corfu, the females are mostly brown. They can sometimes have a little colour, but nothing like as bright as the males, who look their best in breeding season, with this stunning blue and orange. At first I thought about catching one to film, but soon figured there'd be no need. Approach them calmly, and they'll let you get very close. Sometimes it almost seems as if they're posing for the camera. Look at it. They are so cool. Without doubt the lizard highlight of the trip for me. This is a species with many common names. The starred argamma, otherwise known as a painted dragon, short-toed or rough-tail rock agama, sling-tail, star lizard, painted agama, or more recently referred to as the clown agama in the American pet trade. These are large, chunky lizards by European standards. And just for size reference, there's my hand next to the hole. They can grow up to a length of 35 centimetres including the tail. This species is found in Cyprus, Lebanon, Israel, northern Egypt and parts of Asia, and it's thought that the Greek population was introduced in ancient times. We were lucky enough to be staying just a few metres away from the territories of 2 males, who seemed to spend most of their time defending their patch from each other, albeit rather comically. It's also fascinating to watch how they change colour during the course of the day, depending on the temperature. And they aren't just restricted to the quietest parts of the island. They can also be seen in some of the parks right in the centre of Corfu town. A fantastic species that I'm really happy to have seen.
bats. There's insects flying around our head,
Yeah.
so the bat's picking them off.
For now.
Scops owl, yeah.
And last, but by no means least, spotted on an evening walk, the only amphibian species of the trip was one we're very familiar with back home. But this was way bigger.
Biggest toad I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh, you are huge.
Buffo, the common toad.
That is a huge toad.
I did know they can grow a lot bigger in the southern part of their range, but I hadn't expected to see anything quite so impressive.
Did you see it hopping? Yeah. Let's watch it hop again. Oh.
This toad was an absolute monster.
Right, let's go. Leave it in peace.
That was so cool.
After my first taste of Corfu, I'm totally hooked, and very much hope to return sometime soon.